this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. We are on location again. It's that time of year. I want to thank Lenny DeBella, owner of Luigi's Restaurant in Old Saybrook, for making me and my crew feel welcome. It's actually Town of Old Saybrook night tonight on the Pete Mezzetti Show on location, and with me to discuss what's going on in the town of Old Saybrook is my friend Carl Fortuna, who's the first selectman of the town of Old Saybrook.
Pete,
Mr. Mayor.
Good to see you.
Hi, buddy. How are you? Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, we did this last year.
Right, we did.
At Luigi's here.
Right.
And before I came up, I went and got a Peroni draft.
Yes, you did.
I did not get you one. I'm
no,
sorry.
you didn't. That's okay.
But I figured we're in a casual setting,
yes,
not in a studio setting.
Right.
So I would do something like that.
There you go.
How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
What's new?
So busy day for you here.
Yes.
Because you do one after another.
Yes.
How many have you done?
You're number 3.
Okay.
And I've got 2 more.
Okay. Busy night.
And you know both of them.
Yep, I do. Actually, they're on my board of selectmen.
Yes, I knew that.
Anyway, we were talking before we started airing about our new police chief.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I understand they had a meet and greet for him not long ago?
Yeah.
How was it?
Good. We set it up with the police commission. Chubb Wilcox, who led the search committee for the new chief, and we decided that after the chief was installed,
right,
we would have a meet and greet, and we talked about the timing and where it should be. We had it at the Vicky Duffy Pavilion down at the Point. We got apple cider and all kinds of cinnamon apple treaty things that people were popping in their mouths all day. So it wasn't the healthiest day.
No.
But the chief was a great sport because he was there for 4 hours. Chief William Onofrio is our new chief.
Right.
He was deputy chief in the city of Hamden.
Yep.
I think it's a city.
Yeah.
He lives in Clinton, Connecticut.
He does? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Pete Mezzetti. Everybody should know this. Pete
Exactly.
Mezzetti lives in Clinton, Connecticut.
That's right.
So he lives in Clinton. He's only been there about a year. He's from Hamden.
Okay.
And just seems like a real gem of a guy. You know, just a real gentleman, and he made a very good impression, I think, over the course of 4 hours. And you know, we started at about 12:30, and by the time it was 2:30 or 3, I'm looking at the police commission members who were there, and I'm like, why are we doing this until 4:30? Who decided it was going to go 4 hours? And they all looked at me and said, you did. And I said, I didn't remember that because that's too long.
Great.
And so we were there for 4 hours. I was in and out. But the chief was there for 4 hours and he met people. It was a very steady stream of people who came in. His wife was there.
Okay.
They're just a lovely couple. They have 2 young children. And he has been now chief of police in Old Saybrook for actually 22 days.
Okay.
Came in about October 1st.
Right.
Today is October 22nd. It's my mom's 94th birthday.
Wow.
I'm mentioning that on camera.
Okay.
I did
Well,
call
happy
her.
birthday,
Yeah.
Mom.
And she's wonderful. Anyway, the chief has been there for 3 weeks. Getting up to speed, but he's up to the task and just looks like a really great choice. I think the search committee, which was the search committee for the police chief, was the 7 members of the police commission and me. Okay?
And you, okay.
Yeah, that was the search committee.
Okay.
The police commission is the hiring authority. So they made the hire.
Gotcha.
They voted to do the hire, but I was part of the search committee. And I spearheaded I did a lot of the logistics on it, make sure we had a room to meet in and make sure we got mailings out and make sure, So I was a little bit of the point person for all this to make it easier. But anyway, it was really good. And did you know about it? I was going to say, if you knew about it, you could have come by.
No, I didn't know about it.
All right.
So that's why I wasn't there.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We would have loved to have had you.
That's okay. Maybe one of these days down the road, you and I can set up a meeting with the chief.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking right now. You know, in Old Saybrook we have
Right.
9 beach associations.
Oh my goodness.
You know, 8 marinas.
Yeah.
We have the Rotary Club, the Lions. Everybody.
The exchange.
Everybody wants a meeting, right?
Yeah.
So I am actually trying not to call him too much to
Okay.
overly burden him.
Right.
And you know, he's got a lot on his schedule,
Right.
so.
Maybe sometime down the road.
Yeah, I'd be happy to arrange that for
Maybe
you.
sometime down the road. So what's going on in the town of Old Saybrook? We got a lot going on.
So, you know, one of the things I'd like to talk about, so we are taping this on October 22nd.
Yes.
So we're about 2 weeks away from the election.
Yeah.
And there are, obviously, people win and they lose offices, but there are many people in our town, both volunteers who are elected and others who are not either running for re-election who have recently resigned.
Right.
So Mike Gardner, I don't know, you didn't know Mike Gardner. Mike Gardner was the information technology person at the police station.
Okay.
He was also a sergeant for many years. He was a sergeant in the police department, and but he also did IT.
Okay.
And he is retiring from IT at the police station.
All right.
And we're bringing in a third party to run IT for the police department.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank Mike Gardner for all his years of service.
Sure.
And Matt Pugliese, who
Yeah.
you're going to interview next.
Yes.
Matt Pugliese has been on the Board of Selectmen for 6 years.
Right.
Matt has several passions, and he has been an excellent member of the board. He brings a lot to the table. Matt is a smart young guy, young family, and he just brought a lot to the table in Old Saybrook. Very passionate about parks and recreation, very passionate about climate change. He was an advocate for many things over the years. One thing I'm very proud of, I've said this on your show before, everything is discussed with civility.
Right.
So we are, we've had discussions where we've agreed, where we've not agreed, but nothing goes over the top. We talk it out, we vote, and everything's good. But I want to, on your show here, thank Matt for his 6 years of service. It's not like Matt's going away, but Matt has a big job at the state of Connecticut,
Right.
and I know that's what you're going to talk to him about. I think he's deputy commissioner
Yes.
at DECD,
Yeah.
Department of Economic Development and Community Development,
right.
DECD. So Matt, you know, he's a young, smart guy, so they're going to obviously want to use him, and he's going to make his way up the food chain at the state level, and he may not have time for Board of Selectmen. So just really want to thank Matt for all he's done for the town, and I know he'll remain involved.
Right.
He's told me so.
Oh, okay.
So if I make the wrong decision on something, I know he's going to be right there. Last night we had a Board of Finance meeting.
Okay.
And I don't think there's ever been this much projected change on the Board of Finance than what I'm seeing.
What do you
We
see?
have 3 members of the Board of Finance who are not running. 3 out of 7. That's a big turnover.
Really?
Yeah, Bruce Carlson, the current chair.
Okay.
John O'Brien, who has been on the Board of Finance for 18 years. 18 years.
Wow.
So that's dedicated service,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Of course it is.
I make a joke with John. So John, in 2019, retired from the Board of Finance. When I say retired, decided not to run
Right.
for re-election. Maybe, yeah, in 2019. Maybe 7, I'm not sure. But anyway, he was gone for 2 years, and John served on the Board of Finance with me when I was on the Board of Finance. And so when John left, I did a big speech at the Board of Finance, and I gave him a bottle of Irish whiskey at a night meeting of the Board of Finance. And I went and enjoyed some of that with him one night
Okay.
at his house. John is a true gentleman. He's a man of integrity. Other party, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. And then he got reelected, and now he's back on the Board of Finance, and now he's retiring again. So I'm like, John, you know, you're like,
what?
John made the joke today. He's like Muhammad Ali. He keeps coming back to try to
Exactly.
get the crown.
Right.
So I said, as long as you're like Muhammad Ali and not Mike Tyson, that's
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
Anyway, so John is coming off the board. Thank John for his service. Brad Thorpe, who was on the Board of Education for many years and now on the Board of Finance for 8 more years. Brad has put in 20 years of service to the town of Old Saybrook as a volunteer.
Right.
You know, you ask these people to come out at night in bad weather and in really nice weather when you really don't want to go to a meeting. You know, it's almost better to go in a bed.
Exactly.
In bad weather. Anyway, so Brad is also no longer running for office, and I want to thank Brad for his service. And lastly, our chairman, Bruce Carlson, chairman of the Board of Finance, is not running. Bruce has chaired for about 4 years, I think, the Board of Finance, and Bruce is not running. Bruce has been an excellent chairman of the Board of Finance. The Democrats took control of the Board of Finance 2 years ago, so Bruce became chairman, and he's done a good job. Bruce knows government, and he conducted a good discussion and led it to a vote. And guess what?
What?
That's what you ask for in a chairman.
Yes.
Is to run a good meeting. And, and Bruce did that. And he's a very smart guy. So we got some things over the finish line while Bruce was chair. So wanted to say that, and there were a couple more. I don't know.
Go.
Our tax collector, Mark Delmonico, is not running for re-election. So, as you know, we have 2 candidates for tax collector in the upcoming election.
Yes.
Aaron Colwell is on my team on row B. But Mark Delmonico, you know, we've had an interesting run of tax collectors. So Barry Maynard, who was the longtime tax collector.
I know Barry.
Retired in April of 2022. Okay?
Yeah.
I then appointed Carol Raza, who was the chairman of the Board of Finance, as chairman. Carol, sadly, passed away about a year and a half later. So then I appointed Mark, and Mark has now been tax collector. And this is all finishing Barry Maynard's term, because Barry was reelected in November of 21.
Right. And then retired.
He retired. I appointed Carol. She passed away. I've appointed Mark. Mark's not running for re-election. So we're going to have our Well, I'm glad you can laugh about it, because it's a lot harder for me.
Yeah, I know.
And was your mother a tax collector?
My mom was tax collector in Clinton.
Yeah.
And then she retired from Guilford.
Okay.
So I know Barry too well, because when my mom was in Clinton and when she was in Guilford, she would see Barry.
Of course.
All the time at
they have an
meetings.
association.
Yeah, or she would say, "Hey, I've got to go to Saybrook to see Barry."
Yeah.
Walk down to the town hall and meet me there after work.
Right. So when you tell your mother that Old Saybrook is about to have its fourth tax collector in 3.5 years, you're laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You think it's funny?
No.
But I just want to say these folks have done. Carol and then Mark Delmonico have done an exceptional job. They jumped into it. They learned the role. Mark's retired from his first job in life in private sector, and he just didn't want to do it.
Right.
Even though he enjoys it, he's done a wonderful job. He just didn't want to do it, and so we wish Mark well. And we have a new fire marshal coming on board.
Oh, do we?
I don't know who it is yet.
Okay.
We did interviews today, our second interviews.
All right.
Our last fire marshal retired about 2.5 weeks ago, and we are ready to move on with our new fire marshal. And we have 2 excellent candidates.
Now, I was doing research the other day, and one of these days I'm going to get Sam Gold on with me from RiverCog. Yeah. But I was on the RiverCog website the other day looking up something.
Yep.
You know who's working for RiverCog now?
Susie Beckman.
You got it. I did not know that. I was scrolling through and I saw her bio. I'm like, I thought she was working for somebody else.
Susie was as folks may know or may not know, was our economic development director.
Right.
And so when I first hired Susie, our economic development department was one person, and still is, part-time with a computer.
Okay.
And like barely a budget.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll say this until the day I'm no longer in office. Susie made lemonade out of lemons. She did a great job.
She did.
With nothing.
Right.
And I tell her that to her face. Very thankful. We've now transitioned that office. We have grown it a little bit. We've
Yes.
grown the budget. It does a little bit more. But I give Susie Beckman a lot of credit for launching that office into the modern age. And she didn't even know she was going to get a shout out today. And look at that.
That's right.
You and me lauding her.
But now,
And
we have to mention.
I kid with Susie a
Yes.
lot.
Do you talk to her?
I can't believe. Yeah, I see her at the Rivercog meetings.
Oh.
So after all the nice things I just said about her, I'm like, I always kid with her. I'm like, oh, Beckman. But she.
Well, tell her I said hello
I
next time
will.
you talk
She's
to her.
awesome. Susie's great. And now, by the way,
What?
economic development, as you know, is in great hands with Jennifer Dunn.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
we should shout out Jennifer Dunn
Yeah,
here now,
yeah,
because
right.
if we don't, we're
Yeah,
both going to get
right.
in trouble.
And she's expanded that office. She's done a wonderful job with it. So
Wow.
the point of all this
Yes.
is lots of turnover.
Yes.
Lots of turnover. And, tax collector, 3 on the Board of Finance, fire marshal, information technology. Change hopefully is healthy and hopefully it is good. So that's what I got for you. So at the state level, they're going to have a special session
Okay.
on housing. And I don't know what's going to happen. I heard it's November, it could be December. I don't know.
Okay.
But they're going to modify that housing bill. I think it was 5,002.
Something like that.
And they're going to modify it and let us know. Well, I don't know much about it, Pete, right now.
Okay.
Everything is behind closed doors. I don't know when they're doing it. But we will see when it comes out, won't we?
We will.
And I'm guessing that the governor's office, now the governor vetoed the previous housing bill. I'm guessing the governor is working closely enough that
Right.
this one's going to get signed.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. They're not going to go in, I don't believe they will go into special session without an agreement. Without an
Okay.
idea
Well,
that there's a framework that they can all agree on.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at this stuff.
I am.
At this state stuff.
I
Well,
am.
I'm glad you.
I try. I try.
You admit you are. That's good.
I try.
You're so modest.
I try.
Uh,
Now, as far as state stuff goes, how are things at CCM?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. We had a meeting yesterday. I was up there.
Did you see Joe?
Joe was there, and we did a couple presentations. CCM is trying to figure out. So, let me back up a little bit. Joe, I will give Joe DeLong a lot of credit because he has, for years now,
Mm-hmm.
said the property tax in Connecticut
Mm-hmm.
is, we all know, is not only regressive but becoming unaffordable.
Okay.
I mean, my mom's house, and I won't say where she lives because
Okay.
I'm not trying to get on any other town's case. She has a house. It's a nice house. It's a ranch. Her taxes are $10,000.
Okay.
Okay, she's 94. She can afford it, no problem. But where does this end?
Right.
And we need property tax reform. And Joe DeLong at CCM has pushed, and Sean Scanlon, the new
The
comptroller,
comptroller for the state, sure.
is pushing hard right now to try to come up with some ideas on property tax reform.
Oh.
And it is, to use an accurate word, I would say, an intractable issue. In other words, it's an issue that no one can get their head around,
Mm-hmm.
and no one has a good enough idea on how to change it. How do you, if you tell Old Saybrook, you're not going to collect 90% of your revenues on the property tax,
Right.
but instead we're going to lower the property tax so you only collect 50% of your revenues on a $50 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
The state has to fund the rest of that somehow.
Yes.
We need the money somewhere to educate the kids.
Yeah.
And keep our community safe,
Right.
and put fires out. So it's not
It's
like
like,
our
where does it come from?
right. It's not like our budget can go from 50 million to 25 million, and we'll be like, okay, our taxes went down. It doesn't work like that.
No.
So, Sean Scanlon, I give him
Yes.
tons of credit on it too, and Joe DeLong. I'm hopeful that they're going to work together to try to get come up with some ideas on how we might diversify revenue in this state.
Okay.
So that it's not the majority coming from the property tax. Okay?
Okay.
So that is a little bit, and Joe has been very focused on that for years, and good for Joe, because that is not an easy issue.
No.
And he's right, though. Property taxes, where does it end?
Right.
And how do people afford it?
Right.
Okay? I mean, and they go in one direction. They don't go down.
No.
So, but right now, we have an election coming up in a week and a half.
Yep.
We're highly focused on that, doing a lot of doors. I've been out there doing doors, even though I'm unopposed, because I'm trying to get my team elected, right?
I've seen pictures of you on social media outdoor knocking with different candidates.
I went out with Aaron Colwell yesterday. I've been out with Greg Gernhardt, and just trying to meet people. I will tell you this, knocking on doors is a super interesting experience. Even though you don't feel like doing it and it's uncomfortable to do, you're knocking on someone's door. People are so nice.
Right.
That's my experience.
Yeah.
People are remarkably nice when they're coming to the doors. So, been doing that and just trying to get the vote out. Pete, as you probably know, in a presidential election, I'm going to give you round numbers.
Okay.
80% of the population votes. In a gubernatorial election, about 60% of the population votes. And in a municipal, about 40%.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 42, 43 last time. So while I was waiting to come on the show, I just sent out a text to a bunch of friends of mine.
Okay.
And I said,
go vote.
Vote now. Vote early.
Right.
Because when election day, and I'll tell your audience here, when election day comes, it might be pouring rain and 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
And you know what you're going to say?
My
vote doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't, or I don't feel like going out to vote. And the convenience of early voting is there for our residents and statewide to go out there and I voted on Monday. I voted about 11:30 on Monday, and it's great because now on election day I can work, I can go to the polls, I can see people and do that kind of stuff.
And what people might or might not know, especially if you're registered in Old Saybrook, you guys have 2 polling places.
We do, District 1 and District 2. So, and inevitably, people go to the wrong district. They go to the middle school, they should be going to the high school. And they just have to know.
Is District 1 the high school, District 2 the middle school, or is it
flipped?
Or is it the other?
District 1 is the middle school, and District 2 is
the high school.
And I've been doing a lot of District 2 campaigning and I get on my bike. I get on my mountain bike.
Oh, yeah?
And
cool.
Because going door to door,
right,
we have lists of people who vote, and I'm sure some of your...
I've seen the list over in the years past out campaigning.
And when you're only talking about 45% of the people who are probably going to vote, you can go on one street that has 20 houses, and there might only be 2 or 3 that are voters. The rest of them probably aren't going to vote in a municipal election. So, anyway.
Do you know Brian? Do you know the name Brian O'Connor?
At CCM. Brian works for CCM.
I know. But before Brian worked for CCM, Brian was state representative.
I know that.
For this area.
Yeah.
I worked with Brian on his campaign. I remember one day, Brian represented Clinton, Westbrook, and a portion of Old Saybrook. And Brian and I were outdoor knocking.
That's right, Brian was in Westbrook. I forgot that.
Yeah. So we're outdoor knocking. He's like, all right, we got time for one more street. Pick one. I picked it. So he's like, what's the name? So I give him the name. We knock on the door. Woman answers the door. Come on in. Let me go wake up my husband. Who will want to talk to you boys? Art Carney's house in Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
He came out. Brian and I spent an hour and a half with Mr. Carney.
Really? When was that?
When Brian was state rep, so this was bunch of years ago.
Yeah, that had to be a while ago.
Yeah, so it was talk about a very interesting person to sit and have a conversation with.
Yeah, typically you don't know what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
Typically, people are pretty darn nice. We do get into conversations with people who don't necessarily want to see us.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we look. I would encourage people to early vote.
Okay.
It's basically from 10 to 6, and during the week, and then actually as you get to the weekends, I think they're even holding longer hours. Early voting does end the weekend before, like
Election day.
Yeah, right. So I don't want people to think they can vote on November 3rd. Early vote, they cannot.
Absolutely.
Because they need to set it up, the machines.
Yeah.
So,
All
but
right.
a lot going on.
Carl Fortuna from the town of Saybrook. We're out of time.
All right, Pete.
Thank you for some time.
Yep,
We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. On behalf of Carl Fortuna, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks. Good night. We'll see you next time.